Well, I told her to skip it. I wasn't expecting her to even open it. The fact that she actually went through it just blows my mind. So, dude, I'm having an exceptional day because I think that I just made one of the best hires I've ever made.
What's the manager do?
Wholesaling, finding buyers.
Okay.
To sell wholesale deals to. And the lead manager, I brought somebody on, and essentially I have all these courses, right, in REI Automated, and in Crown Properties, we follow those courses. Like REI Automated is the public facing whatever for everybody else, but we do exactly what I teach in REI Automated in Crown Properties. There's 13 courses. I set her up for failure. I said, you have 3 days. She has no idea like how many videos. It's 300 videos. 3 days to go through this. She was listening to it at 1.75 speed for 12 to 16 hours the last 3 days. And in more than 300 people, she is the only person to finish within 72 hours.
Whoa. Wow.
So I just got off the call with her. She's like, I'm done. Bullshit. You're not done. That's impossible. I've had too many people go through the course to know that that's not possible. And she finished it. And so I was like, I don't actually believe her. Like, yeah, it says 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. But like, so we just hop on Zoom. I was like, so I need to know, how bad did you cheat? And this requires an honest answer because I can see everything on the back end. No, I can't. I can see what the percentage is. But she passed every test with 100%. I don't allow people to move on to the next module without passing the test 100%. And they're not easy answers. And I said, how bad did you cheat? She goes, well, to be honest, Keith, the first 2 days I did everything properly. The third day, which was yesterday, I went through the first 4 courses. But then I got to the last 2. It was the 2 that you told me that I could skip. But I just wanted to see the inside, so I kind of just breezed through it. To be honest, I didn't really write any notes. Well, I told her to skip it. I wasn't expecting her to even open it. The fact that she actually went through it just blows my mind. So, dude, I'm having an exceptional day because I think that I just made one of the best hires I've ever made.
That's awesome. And I'm so glad that's recorded because that can just be a snippet. That's a soundbite right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I even told her, I said, this was a task meant for failure. They give these to you when you're in boot camp and when you're in Marine combat training. It's meant for nobody. It's impossible. It's physically impossible to do this thing, but they're not going to tell you that. Well, she is the first person ever in more than 300 people. She is the first person ever to actually accomplish the mission. Stoked. I'm really stoked to work with her.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
What is she going to do?
She's the lead manager. So she's the one who basically she's in charge of doing what we call the triage call, which is the first call, the intake call, the whatever every business does calls it something, but it's the same thing. Tell me a little bit about the house, kind of what you have going on with it. What's the general condition? What's the time frame that you want to sell? Is there a mortgage? What do you want to walk away? Is creative financing an option? Those are the 6 pillars within our triage call. So that's what she's primarily going to be doing. And then from there, she's the one who analyzes the deal. So she'll pull the comps to determine ARV. She'll take what the seller told her was wrong with the phone, over the phone, what's wrong with the house. She'll put that into an itemized spreadsheet in order to determine an accurate repair estimator. And then she'll structure the deal both entrance and exit based on meeting the seller's needs first and then meeting the company's needs second. And then she'll pass it off to the acquisition manager who will then go and put it under contract.
Cool. Right on. You guys, are you guys going to be targeting like a specific geographic region?
Florida and New York.
Florida and New York.
Yeah.
Why New York?
Because there's amazing opportunities happening in New York right now.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people are going to be moving to New York, and there's some big cities with big contracts for it to be just a massive opportunity for both appreciation and cash flow.
Harrison, I was looking at Albany this morning.
Yeah, similar to Springfield, I'd say.
Yeah. So I'm a little embarrassed to admit it that is the capital.
Yep, it's not New York City.
So what?
No, I went and picked up that gas on gas stove from there a few weeks ago. It's like actually, so have you ever driven on the Pike, like past the border?
No, I went to Pittsfield quite a bit because of student painters, but I never went past.
Right. So it actually, you don't just like go through the Berkshires and then it gets flat again. Like it stays mountainous. And it was like, I'm like, oh, this is really nice driving out here. Scenery.
I was, well, when I like, yeah, because today, Keith, we were on Find That Flip, which honestly, we should do this together. We should do a live stream and we connect our Facebooks, our Instagrams, our YouTubes, all that stuff. And if you've got access to MLS, we can just literally let you lead it and we can go on MLS, target a certain area, and then basically just look at deals together, talk about them. Like, we like this, we don't like this, what we would do here, what could accomplish. Somewhere between 30 to 60 minutes. We've been doing them a bit more frequently, and they're starting to pick up some traction. So we should totally do that. But we were looking at Pittsfield, and Caleb was like, what is that close to? How are the rents in Pittsfield, which is quote worse than where we are right now, more like dead zone. The rents are $250 higher than they are over here, and the property is cheaper. And we were just like, this is like a little bit of an anomaly. Two families for 100 grand, 150 grand, and you're getting $2,000 a month, Section 8 for 3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Which is beating our market here right now. So we were talking.
I love Section 8, and that's the primary reason why we're in New York. And so, like, let me just tell you, I bought this house for $18,000. I put roughly 15 into it. So I'm in for 33 plus holding costs, soft costs, and everything, 35. Let's just call it 40. It's worth 105, and it rents for $1,600 per month.
Yep.
Like, shut up and take my money. Let's do that more often.
Welcome to WREI TV, Talk Radio and Podcast. We have Keith Gillispie, the home run hitter of the day. Welcome to the show. We've been recording. We'll see where we kick this thing off. That's amazing.
Yeah. This is going to be the new norm for us. The last 4 that we've put under contract, almost the same purchase price, almost the same rehab, and they're all the same rents. It's all the same freaking zip code. So Section 8 is going to give you the same. A 3-bed is going to yield $1,616 per month.
That's
for how much per unit?
Say it again.
How much per house or unit?
We're purchasing them somewhere, like the last one that we just put under contract was $12,000. The one that I just said was $18,000. We have another one for 20. I don't actually know. It's like $25,000 or $28,000, but it doesn't need much. It needs like lipstick, paint and floors, clean it out, like literal house cleaners. Go in. That's it. It's rent ready, and they will all rent for $1,600.
So you're all into them for like 50 grand or less.
Yep. Everything is less than 50 cents on the dollar. And some of these, now we're getting it. We just added a different county. The rent is just a little bit less. The price point is a little bit higher. So rather than dealing with $100,000 houses, we're dealing with like 140, maybe 150, like super high in that area is 160, 180 is like absolute max. So in this case, we're expecting to be purchasing them for all in at 50, 60, 70, potentially 90 is our hard cutoff, which is essentially 50 cents on the dollar, right? If the absolute max is 180, then our absolute max is going to be 90, 50 cents on the dollar, super, super safe. This is, mind you, this is purchase price plus rehab, not just the purchase price. Purchase price plus rehab equals 50 cents of ARV. And truthfully, ARV isn't ARV. It's not after repair. It's just what will it appraise for in rent-ready condition. ARV is probably north of 200, but it's not, granite countertops and beautiful LVP flooring or anything like this. Yeah. So we just added that county as well. I'm gonna not disclose what those are, but they're great opportunities, and you can find them everywhere. Not just where you can find these in Indiana, you can find these in Ohio. There's several different opportunity zones right now in the United States where Section 8 is just super prevalent, and it's all about buying it right. Buying it at a very steep discount.
What a rock!
We need to sell you on our strategy. Effectively very similar for us, a more concentrated, different market in Massachusetts. But yeah, I mean, we're into these sort of 50 to 60 cents on the dollar, like per unit.
Yes.
And, and they're appraising, like if we're into a unit for $100,000, it's probably appraising for units aren't really appraising for 160 per unit in our market. They're usually appraising for 125 to 145, but
Okay.
we're probably into them for $80,000.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I think that's just the name of the game in real estate, right? Is buy something, drive it up to a certain value to where you can ultimately pull the investment capital back out if you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to, and then rinse and repeat that model.
Yeah.
So Keith, tell how did you get started? So first of all, you're a Marine. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Can you share with us just a little bit about your story, your background, kind of what makes you you? How did you get here?
Yeah. No real estate experience, no sales experience, no nothing like that. I was active duty in the Marine Corps. I came from a really, really poor, well below the poverty line in California, making $1,000 per month for the household income. You obviously can't live off of that very, very well in California. So left home when I was 17, joined the Marine Corps, and instantly I was making more than my mom was. All right, cool. We just became rich in 3 months, right? And I was like, shoot, I need to be very fiscally responsible. Like I need to have a budget. I need to make sure that I'm taking care of things on the financial front. So I was like reading books and getting all these calculators, if you will, to track your, like back when you were operating in Microsoft Office, to track your budgets before all these apps came out and stuff. And so my squad leader took notice of this, and he was like, Keith, I just finished reading this book, and it's kind of financial in what he's teaching, but basically overall, he kind of taught me that my whole life has been a lie up to this point. I really think that you should read it. I think that it will help you in your journey with finances. And then he gave me the Purple Bible. Here's Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I was gonna guess. I was like, guess the book.
And so I read that book, and at the time we were pregnant with our first child, and I had been working on my credit so that we could purchase a house. We were stationed near Washington, D.C. in Stafford, Virginia, and we were going to buy a little townhouse or something like that while I was stationed there. So I'm working on my credit. I have near perfect credit, like 800 credit score, absolutely amazing. And we're actively looking at houses to buy. And instead, I decided, you know what? We're going to create a house flipping company. And the very next month, we had a corporation with the intent of becoming rich through real estate, flipping houses, and just buying up, half of Northern Virginia. Huge aspirations. I just remember, this is amazing. And I went off to leverage that credit, not to buy a house, but instead to get 23 different credit cards with hundreds of thousands of dollars of limits in order to purchase basically every real estate investing course known to man over the next 4.5 years. And so literally I've been through like 57 courses, I believe is my count right now. 9 years later, but like 40 of those was within the first 4.5 years. And that's how I got started in real estate. Kind of a whack story,
I don't think that's whack. I think you're the top 1%, bro.
If I could go back, there's a couple things that I would change, and that would be stop chasing shiny objects, get on the freaking phone and start calling people, because that's how you make money. Yeah. Not by learning everything there is to know about every single exit strategy, insurance strategy, management, sales, psychology, blah, 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 blah. No, it wasn't necessary, but I learned a lot of good stuff. I don't regret it.
Wow, that's incredible. Harrison, yes, according to this, we are recording. According to
Just making sure.
yes, sir.
Normally I'm the host, so I know, but when I'm not in control, I don't know that things are going. You know, when you're out of control, you're like, if you're used to being in control, you kind of have this like feeling of anxiety. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
It's interesting you say that because I'd like to live in the uncontrol. I would love to be, I'd love to, I'd like to be towards the top, but I really would rather just be a connector and let the control freaks enjoy the control. I mean, if you like the control, have it.
I'm kind of the same as Harrison. I hate to say it.
No,
I at
no.
least like to know. It's not that I need to be the one in control, but I need to know what's being controlled.
Look, you guys are sharp, smart guys, and I'm happy to be on this podcast with you. I really am. So, okay, so you did all of these courses. You said, okay, you wish you would put like a little bit more action up front to get started. Do you feel like all of these courses were, was it the wrong move? Like, should you have done 2 or 3 and then started action? Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah. At the end of the day, how PC is your podcast?
I don't know. If you're new, let's figure it out. Let's see. Let's make waves.
All right. So like doing what I did and going through all of these courses is just mental masturbation. Meaning it feels really good. You feel like oh my God, I'm learning so much. But at the end of the day, it's all good for nothing. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't go anywhere. It's not going to result in you doing deals.
What a great phrase.
And so don't do that. If you want to do deals, golly, like I put myself back so many years because I was taking this course back to back with this course, overlapping with this course, and taking 2 courses at the same time. It's like, bro, you know enough. You're never ready, right? None of us are ready to do our first deal. None of us are ready to have our first kid. None of us are ready to be married for the first time. Just go when you're ready enough. Call the seller. And are you going to fall? Are you going to flounder? Are you going to fail? Yeah, it's part of the job. Welcome to entrepreneurship. Do it faster, right? Get better faster. You're never going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. I've called literally hundreds of thousands. I'm over the million, actually. We have 990,000 cold calls alone, not even talking about sellers. Like, I've been on the phone a lot. I still am not perfect and will never be perfect.
Where are you getting a million numbers to call?
Bro, well, to be really clear, it's not a million numbers. It's a million dials.
Gotcha.
So have a couple of very large metropolitan cities that have 6-8 million people collectively. Like at the time when I was cold calling was Honolulu, San Antonio, I forget, Indianapolis, Chicago. It doesn't matter. Like just put like 5 metropolitan cities, throw them into a humongous list, and then burn them on a 12-line dialer. Don't do what I did, by the way. Like, this is bad. This is bad business practice. This is the reason why legislation has come out disallowing this. And we're going back like 7 years. But I had a 12-line dialer using ZenCall. And bro, I'll tell you what, you don't get a break. Like, I keep water next to me so I can sip because your voice you don't have a break. You're on the phone with this person, then you're done. You're on the phone immediately with a 12-line dialer. 0 breaks. It rings 1 time. Somebody picks up. Great.
Amazing. And you were cold calling these people to find sellers?
Yeah, to find sellers, to wholesale their house.
Start the deal, right? Find the deal for it.
Yeah, I realize that there's this whole reverse wholesaling and find your buyers and then find the deal that they're going to buy. And I don't, kind of going back to Harrison's point earlier of like, I like to be the one who's in control. I don't like to put the future of my family in another man's hands. And what I mean by that is if you say you're a buyer, you're a cash buyer, you're actively doing deals, you're looking at this specific buy box, does that mean with 100% certainty that you are going to buy that deal if I find a perfect fit for your buy box? Does it mean with 100% certainty that you're going to do it? No. You could be sick. You could be out of the office. You could go to jail because you're being fraudulent. There's like literally, I've seen it happen so many times. And so I am not a proponent of the reverse wholesaling approach. It works, by the way. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It absolutely 100% of the time works. It just doesn't work for me. It's not how I'm geared up here. I would rather put a smoking deal under contract, 35, 45, 55 cents on the dollar. Why? Because I'm not boxed into your stupid buy box. I can go find 10 buyers that will buy this house this week. So I find the deal first before finding the buyer.
Right on. Right on. We've started the opposite way too, which I will say, if you're looking to find buyers, great way is to wear a t-shirt with a sign on it or a printed that says, I'm looking for cash buyers. And then additionally, we put up, cash buyers, like lawn signs, and we got so many phone calls from other investors looking for deals. It was kind of like fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like fishing. But we've started pretty much every deal in our career getting the property under agreement for as little money as absolutely possible, and then trying to go find the money. And we've been able to do every deal except one that way.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's crazy. And now you have REI Automated, which is your education course, right?
That's correct.
So tell us a little bit about that. Why did you, obviously you went through all of these other courses. What kind of inspired you to create your own?
It was a plethora of things, but the biggest overarching problem was that there was so much fluff in the courses, and I dislike fluff. Again, kind of going back to this whole mental masturbation thing, like it's wonderful to learn all of this stuff. However, if it's not prioritized, if you're not taking action, if you're not being pushed to actually do the that's going to move the needle, why do we care about any of this stuff? We are, this is a misallocation of our time. There's only three currencies in life: time, money, and energy. And if you're throwing good money to spend your time and your focus on the wrong area, it's a waste of all three currencies. It's a waste of our resources. And so trust me when I tell you, going through these people's courses, it was worth it. I got the nuggets. I made more than what I put into those courses. However, if we can just extrapolate like the 5 to 10 to maybe 15% of the stuff that is really, really good from those courses, and just trash the rest, like literally, like you'll figure it out. You don't have to know that right now. Just take that 10%. That is gold. And so that's what I did. I was like, I want to have the most effective education, the most effective processes, the most effective support in order to get people. Ideally, it's my goal to get you to my year 5 within your first 6 months. That's success to me, is for you to cut the learning curve, to create so much efficiencies, to shrink time and change you as a person. Like, am I worthy? Am I enough? Is this right? All those things, like both the mental, like who you need to become, as well as what my business needs to become, in order to get you where I am, chapter 5, and you're halfway through chapter 1, if you will, if we're thinking 1 year equals 1 chapter. So that's what I've done, is I've taken all the knowledge from all of these courses, and I'm not even done, to be honest. Like, I still have two more courses that are already planned out that it's my intention to finish this year. But what I've done is I've taken every single one of these courses. Some of them are on sales. Some of them are on negotiation. Some of them are on marketing. Some of them are on deal structure. Some of them are on raising private money. Some of them are on converting your KPIs. Some of them are on hiring, whatever it is, right? And I've taken all of the nuggets from multiple courses about hiring somebody, for example, and created a very condensed version with great education, great systems, and great support. So those are the 3 pillars that I personally believe, after talking with thousands of investors, people are not successful, or they get in their own way for success because of a lack of one of those 3. It is 100% of the time because they lack either the education, I don't know what to do, or I know what to do, I just suck at doing it, i.e., I don't have a good system for this. It's massively ineffective. It's massively inefficient, whatever. Or they know what to do, they're great at doing it, but they've reached an obstacle and they need the support from somebody who's been there, done that, can help you overcome the objection to answer the question, whatever it is, in order to like, I'm at the 5-yard line. I'm at the 1-yard line. I just need somebody's help to push me over the edge. It's 100% of the time one of those 3 things. That's REI Automated in a nutshell.
So where can people that are listening find you? How can they get access to this?
The best place is just to go straight to my website. A couple months ago, I did redid my demo video. And so going to our website, it's www.reiautomated.io/demo. I talk about those 3 pillars a little bit more. I kind of share behind the scenes. I show you some of our software, some of our tips, some things that you need. Go there, or if you want to connect with me, Facebook, Keith Gillispie, or LinkedIn. Also, Keith Gillispie is probably the best place to connect with me.
That's Gillispie.
Correct.
And Keith spelled normally.
Yeah.
Right on. That's so exciting. So, what are some of the mistakes that you made early on? You said, your goal is to get to year 5 by 6 months. What are some of the learning curves and obstacles you had to overcome in those first couple years?
I really just had to. I personally had 2 of those 3 things missing. In the very beginning, I did not have any education whatsoever of what I was doing. I got the education with all these courses that I was going through, but like literally, I started the company 1 month, and then I signed up for my first 2 programs the next month, and I purchased my first house the month we began the purchase process. It was a short sale, and so it took quite some time to actually accomplish it. But we went under contract the following month. And this was crazy because my exit strategy was what we call pop the top. In DMV area, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, it's super normal. It's like a cool thing to do, to find this tiny little like 1,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and you just do the exact same footprint above it. And now you have a beautiful master suite, tons of big rooms, everything like this. That's what our intention was. I had never done this before. I'd never even bought my own freaking house, right? I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know, like, legit, a soil density test. Obviously, I know what it is now. But, like, I did not know that the earth has to be a certain density to withstand the pressure of this tens of thousands of pounds that you're like. That didn't make sense to me because I never thought about it. But here's all these wonderful plans, and I have an awesome ARV, and I know what it's going to cost, and I did my due diligence based off of what I was learning from these initial courses. But then get the structural engineer to come out, and he's like, you need a soil density test. Let me bring out the rod, right? That rod that vibrates or whatever. I don't even know what it does, but it's like a 8-foot rod, and I think it sends vibrations through the ground, and it sees like, what is the soil density of this, and do you have the ability to place an additional unit on top? No. Okay, well, I just raised $150,000 or $160,000 to do this. This is the plan. Here's the ARV. Here's the CMAs. Here's the appraisal. Here's the scope of work. Here's the contractors. I'm rip roaring and ready to go. All for nothing. Can't do that. So I was uneducated. And then even when I was educated on what I was doing, I had the worst systems because I was too busy signing up for shiny objects. Let me go take this direct mail course. Then let me take this copywriting course. Now I have marketing, but I suck at sales. I don't know how to convert anybody. Everybody's clicking on my stuff. Everybody's calling me. Everybody's sending me texts. We were doing direct mail, ringless voicemails, text blasting, cold call, the whole shebang, right? And I suck on the phone. Like, I don't know what questions to ask them. I don't know how to convert. I don't know how to lead the conversation. And so the second pillar that I was sucking at was the systems. I didn't know what to do or how to do it effectively, how to do it efficiently, how to do it at scale. And I was just wasting so much money on marketing. So those are the 2 big things that I had a hard time with. I don't really need that much support. I'm extremely like self-motivated, you could say. I don't really need any hand holding. I hold myself accountable. I do all the hard things, get up early in the morning. I work out every day, do ice bath, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I've got the discipline that comes from being in the Marine Corps. So I don't really need the support. My wife is a wonderful cheerleader for me, like when I'm having a bad day. So for me, I love the group interaction of support, love being with like-minded individuals who will, now just correct me. Hey, Keith, that's stupid. Why in the world would you ever do that? I love that aspect. That's my support, if you will. But to answer your question, in the beginning, I didn't really struggle with that. For newer people, if I were to go back, those are the two things.
Right on. So have you ever hit a wall in the energy currency?
Mm-hmm. Last year, I had my world fall apart. I had just a series of crazy life-altering events that occurred nearly back to back to back to back to back to back. I tore 90% of my pectoral muscle away from my shoulder, needed to have complete reconstructive surgery. That took me out for months. Like, I have cadaver freaking body parts, and I have other dead people's body in my body holding me together. It's really weird and kind of gross to think about. But I underwent a huge surgery in February. And then my dad passed when I was 8 years old. And from 8 to 17, I had a gentleman kind of step in as a quasi. He wasn't really old enough to be like my biological father, but he was a father figure to me. He passed away immediately after that. Right after that, I went through a bad business partner breakup. Right after that, I got my first huge lawsuit. Right after that, I had to deal with squatters in one of my houses. Right after that, I had somebody fraud me, and I bought half of the house when I should have bought a whole house. And right after that, I had another potentially humongous lawsuit. And there was just all of these things in my personal life. And so to answer your question, yeah, I hit an emotionally tapped energy wall last year that was horrible. And quite frankly, I'm still kind of going through it. I'm still paying for, past sins, if you will, of getting into bad relationships with bad people or allowing things into my life. And I'm still suffering the consequences for 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years, in one case, 6 years ago, decisions that were made. Wow.
So sorry to hear that. Way to keep putting one foot in front of the other. How did you build a network, or did you have a peer group that you could lean on during these times, or were you just really sheltering it all on your own with your wife at home? Which, I don't want to downplay your wife at home. I know she's in a support structure, but how did you peel yourself off the ground, I guess, and keep going?
Yeah, good question. So I have some rituals, you could even say. Last year, I kind of have themes for each year. Like, what do I feel is one word of what I really need in my life? And last year, my theme was consistency. This year, my theme is stability. If you think about all the crazy ups and downs that I went through last year, I need stability more than anything else in life. I need stability, and what will create stability is peace, or what stability will create, I should say, is peace. The byproduct of stability equals peace. Last year was consistency. Through these ups and downs, there are, we call them IPAs, income producing activities. There are IPAs that I don't really freaking care what time you have to get up, what time you have to go to bed, how you feel, what you have to say no to. Like, you have to take care of your family. To take care of your family, you have to take care of yourself. Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right? And so I kind of start with those 4 pillars: physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, eating the right food, working out. I still continue to do this. I go basically every single morning. I kind of have the same brief routine of getting up, spending a short time in a devotional and a prayer, taking my kids to school. As soon as I get back, I go on a 5K walk. It takes me exactly 1 hour to finish 3.2 miles. And during that time, sometimes I listen to education. Sometimes I'm listening to an audiobook. Sometimes I just sit in silence. Sometimes I respond to people's messages. It doesn't really matter. Just walking, and when you're walking, intentionally closing your mouth. Last year, think about this. Your body is going under the most stress that I've ever been in. You have so much cortisol. You have so much, sometimes you get addicted to things like social media to get a dopamine hit, or coffee in order to get this dopamine, serotonin, any chemical that makes you feel good, right? And so you have to regulate your chemical balances, and how we do the most effective way is turning on your parasympathetic nervous system. And the biggest influencer of that is breath work. I don't have time to sit down and just box breathe or do, there's a bunch of Wim Hof and things that you can do. So I'm going to do it while I'm walking. Somebody talks about, I forget which book it is, but he talks about task stacking, like doing 2 or 3 things simultaneously. Well, can I walk and breathe and respond to my team or educate myself or whatever, like doing 2 or 3 things, doing 2 or 3 things at a time. It's really helpful, stacking those tasks. So when I'm done with my walk, I come back, super short workout, like 20 minutes, just hit it hard, hit it fast, get it done. And then come and I sit down. By this time it's 10 o'clock every day, 10 o'clock on my calendar, 10 to 11 is blocked off. And I can show it to you. It says, number 1 thing, eat the frog, do what you've been putting off. And so I have this, I love writing things down, so you can't really see, but I have 2 different companies that I run. Top half is real estate, bottom half is REI Automated. Different deals, things that we're doing, hires. Here's my little personal section right here. And it's like, out of all of these humongous to-dos, which most of these are like 6-figure tasks, there's a lot of weight, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of whatever on me. I can't do all of this. Not today, not this week, not even this month. Just what's the most important thing? Of all of these things that I need to do, what is the number 1 thing that's going to make the biggest impact? And I choose that every single day from 10 to 11. I just focus on that. That regimen, if you will, is how I take care of myself physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally every single day from the time that I wake up until 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Afterwards, do whatever you want. You could take the day off for all I care. Literally, you've done the thing that's going to move the needle the most. It doesn't really matter, but making sure that you're doing the things that matter the most so you can be, because you cannot lead. You can, there's things. You can't lead others unless you're leading yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to put on your own oxygen mask before you serve others, so on and so forth. There's all these principles, right? I live a very principled life. I'm also about to hit 3 minutes of monologue here. My computer is telling me. So one of my principles is shut up and let somebody else talk.
Dude, I was just getting ready to say, I think you're primed for your first TED Talk if you haven't done one.
I haven't. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Well, I was ready for 3 more minutes, but I was going to say, I guess that, so I guess today then the number 1 thing to move your business forward that you were focused on was the hiring of your acquisitions manager, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I needed to interview people in order to replace the acquisition manager that I let go 2 months ago, and I've been filling the role, taking care of all the deals. This is not sustainable. This is not scalable. That's not my core competency. I need to be working on higher level tasks. And you're absolutely right. Like, this thing is sucking my time. It's sucking my energy in those 3 currencies. I'm not putting any money into it, but I have put money into the leads, and I put money into my team to put the properties under contract. And it's definitely taking my time, like way too much of my time, 2-3 hours per day. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when I'm already putting in 12-hour days, this sucks. And then it's all, more importantly than anything else, is the energy / peace / there's another word, like effort / energy / peace. That's the most important thing to me right now, again, because stability equals peace for me. And it's just too much. I have too many things that are asking for my attention, and it will help my mental bandwidth if I just shelve this to somebody else. I need to hire and train somebody to do this properly so that I can entrust them with those tasks.
A couple questions on REI Automated and the rest of your business that I had.
Yeah.
Number one, REI Automated. It sounded like from one of our earlier conversations that this is something that was relatively new, that was maybe built out of necessity a little bit. Was that tied into any of your experiences last year and any of the struggles you went through?
No. So REI Automated is 3.5 years old officially, like on the books. If you were to look at date of inception, it's 3.5 years old. However, it actually started more than 6 years ago, about 6.5, almost 7 years ago, now that I think about it. And it was built out of necessity when I got stationed in Hawaii in 2017. So at this time, we were flipping and wholesaling in Northern Virginia. My second duty station was in Hawaii. Think about geographically. Number one, there's a couple of things that you have to understand. Number one, Hawaii. I love Hawaii. I love the island. I love the people. Admittedly, it's difficult for somebody of my. It's difficult for me to flip houses because people do not take well to somebody who's young, white, and in the military buying their house if they're very local. They want to keep that within it's called kama'ana, or local people, to keep that within their family, and rightly so. America, it was the 50th state, but we kind of just like imposed ourselves on Hawaii in order to control what we call the Pacific Theater, so that World War II happenings, think about when they bombed Pearl Harbor, well, we had a strategic advancement point from there, both with ships as well as with planes. And so we essentially have to control Hawaii if we want to keep our western border safe in California, Oregon, and Washington. So I just say all of that to say, not that they're racist, but it's just harder for me to buy houses when you're 21, 22, even 20 years old when I got started, and you're walking into somebody's house. They love me on the phone. I can speak pidgin. Now, I'm personable. They like me. I can solve their problem. I show up in front of their door and they're like, you're the one who's going to give me an $857,000 cash offer? Who the hell are you? Like, this is a scam. Get out of my house. I got kicked out of more than 100 people's houses. So that's the first thing to understand. And the second thing, super, super hard price point. Again, when you're young, I can't borrow from my peers' Roth IRAs. They don't even know what a Roth IRA is. Right. It's definitely not self-directed, and so I had a hard time raising the funds in order to do flips, and non-existent credit. I just started building my credit profile and then tanked it, purchasing $250,000 of courses within the first couple of years. Nuts. So now my credit is shot. It was very difficult for me to get like a hard money lender, even asset-based lending. So that's the second thing to understand. Then the third thing to understand is geographically, when it comes to time zones, Hawaii is 3 hours away from Pacific Standard Time, and it's 6 hours away from Eastern Standard Time. So let's put this into my situation where I'm already getting up super early in the morning, got to be at work by 6 o'clock. So I have to leave by 5:30. Therefore, I need to get up at 4:30. This is problematic. If I want to make phone calls, I need to wake up at 3. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of pissed off if I wake up at 3. Like, I'm not a great person to be on the phone with. I don't care how much coffee you give me. It's not sustainable. I did it for more than a year, but it's not sustainable. Let's talk about when I get home from work. So we've talked about you cannot do this in the morning before leaving for work. What about after work? Well, I'm typically getting off somewhere between 5:30 and 6:30 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Well, this is 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or it's 11:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call somebody. Try it. You're not going to buy a house. You're just going to get cussed out and piss people off. You're waking them up. So I can't call before work. I can't call after work. And I'm not allowed to have my phone on me during work. Well, I was hell-bent of getting out of the Marine Corps. I love the Marine Corps, by the way. I will never say anything bad about the Marine Corps. But it was a season of my life. And a little bit more of my story, then I'll jump right back into this. Both times we were pregnant, didn't know we were pregnant because I was in a different country. And my wife didn't tell me because she wanted to tell me in person. And so like I come home from a trip, sea bags in hand, open the door. Surprise, we're pregnant. Both times. They're both on YouTube if you want to see it. It's surprise, you're a daddy. And then surprise, you're a daddy number 2. You can see it. For the next 2 years, I was all the time gone. My wife had to consistently reintroduce me to my son and to my daughter. And that eats at you, you know? And so I needed to get out of the Marine Corps because I needed to raise my family. My dad didn't raise me. He died when I was young. And here I am doing the same thing, not raising my kids, except I don't have the excuse of being dead. I'm choosing this lifestyle. Well, it's time to choose a different lifestyle. I got to get out of the Marine Corps. How am I going to do that? Well, I had chose my vehicle. It's going to be real estate investing. Can't call before work. Can't call after work. Can't call during work, except for 1 hour. Can't tell me what to do when I'm on my lunch break, which in the Marine Corps we call chow. Can't tell me what to do. Chow, my hour, it's my 60 minutes. I can do whatever the heck I want. So I put on these very headphones, plug this thing in. Let's see if I still got it. Plug it into my laptop, go out, turn on my hotspot. I'm in my car, start dialing the phones, baby. Just burn the lines. 18-line dialer. And I just needed something that was super efficient, that was super effective, that was super automated. And this was the birth of REI Automated. It was never meant for anybody else. It was just a solution to my unique problem. I have 1 hour per day. It can only be done during this hour. And this 1 hour of inputs needs to result in 8 hours of outputs. Therefore, it needs to be highly effective, highly efficient, and highly automated. The birth of REI Automated. That was the inception. And we really built it out for 3.5 years for my own company before we even launched it, before we even released it. Again, it was never even intended on being for other people. I just had so many people asking me, you're in freaking the Philippines, you're in China, you're in Japan, you're in Guadalcanal, you're in Taiwan, how are you flipping houses? What are you doing that is different than what I live here. I'm investing in my backyard. You're investing stateside and you're not even in Hawaii. The Marine Corps is not a 9 to 5. It's not even a 12-hour job. It is a lifestyle. Like you are bringing work home with you. You are getting assigned to extra duties. You're getting shipped all over the place. And so I had enough people asking me, Keith, how are you doing this? Like, I don't care what it is. I don't care I don't care how much it costs. Just help me do this. And I said, no. Like, don't take me away from my core competency. This is my baby. I have to get out of the Marine Corps. It wasn't until two things, Magic Storm happened. I successfully got out of the Marine Corps in 2020. And that's really when the birth of REI Automated happened. And also my mentor kind of called me on my crap. And he's like, dude, if you want to make this impact that you're saying you want to, like your mission statement, if you will, you're not going to have the impact that you want if you keep on holding this close to your chest. Go out and help people. And so then I did. I started templating it out for other users. I started creating training videos. And we took our first client. I don't even remember the year. I think it was October of 2021 was when we did our public launch, if you will, for REI Automated. All right. I've hit my 2.5 minute mark again. I got to shut up.
Very cool. And how are you marketing this now?
I'm not. Yeah. I'm basically, in all seriousness, podcast is the only thing that I'm doing. We grow from word of mouth referrals. I don't put money into ads. There's really nothing else that I'm doing. I need a marketing person. If anybody's listening to this, they're a marketing person. You're just really good at what you do. I need somebody to help me because this is not my core competency, nor is it something that I want to learn how to do. I need help with social media. I need help with email marketing. I need help with calling. I don't need sales. I will handle the sales, and I want to bring in the right people who are the perfect fit I talk to every single person who comes into REI Automated, because ultimately I'm the one who has to put up with your crap for the next many months or years. And so I want to have the final say on who comes in. I've hired salespeople, I've hired setters, I've hired closers, I've done the whole thing. I grew way too much, way too fast last year and the year previously. And I don't want to make that mistake again. Ultimately, we brought in people that were not the right fit, that we couldn't help. It wasn't great. And that cost me a lot of money. So don't want to make that mistake again. I don't need help with sales. I do really need help with marketing when it comes to especially like cold outreach, LinkedIn. I don't really know. I have some ideas, but as of right now, dude, we're not doing anything except hopping on a couple podcasts.
Nice. Yeah, something I've learned from us being really focused on marketing in general in our business is that it's not, there's a lot of plug and play, a lot of cat and mouse, and it's not super complicated, but it can be very time consuming, and it can take you really, like if you're learning it, you start from zero, it can take a while to get yourself to a really efficient level, like where you'd want to be.
Yeah.
And it can feel really frustrating, in a like 6-month period of just trying a bunch of different things when you feel like you're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what will stick. But yeah, there's so not super complicated, but very strategic, and can is certainly a skill worth hiring for.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah, because we started building our podcast and our live streams and all of this content a lot of it out of necessity. And it happens to be probably my favorite thing to do is these like genuine connections, because I think, our network will organically connect with yours and vice versa, and just chances sparks will happen. But what we noticed is, you can it's better to put out more content that's less flashy, less good, but consistent, because at the end of the day, if the content's pretty good, no one really cares that we don't have formal lighting on our video here. You've already dropped enough wealth on this podcast. So kind of taking a book out or taking a page out of Gary Vee, he would say, you don't have to create, just document. You don't have to create, talk to somebody else who's already done what you want to do, and he would say, like, heck, just talk to random strangers that aren't even in your industry. Just document what they do, because you never know where things are going to just overlap. So that, and then question, would you be interested in like marketing interns?
I don't know. I've never hired an intern, to be honest.
Well,
I do have a really specific profile.
Okay.
I have it written. Yeah, I have it written.
All right.
They need to be college educated. They have to have a degree. They need to already have a job. They cannot be currently unemployed. They need to have bookkeeping experience. I know that sounds stupid to hire somebody marketing with bookkeeping experience. However, I need them to be first and foremost a marketer, but there's some other things that I need help with, such as bookkeeping, like low-level executive assistant kind of deal. Preferably, I would like them to be female, and I'd like them to be considerably older than me, like 40. I feel like 35 to 55 would be my ideal profile for this person. And ultimately go through the vetting process. I'm not going to be the one who hires you. My wife is. So we have the whole, like, filter it down. And then I'll give her 2 or 3 people and then pass it to her. You interview, final interview, give me the one that you think is best, because she knows me more than anybody.
Can you do that filter thing one more time for the camera?
Yeah. First thing, they need to be call it. Oh.
Well,
got to make sure they have a good visual.
Knowing what you're targeting is one of the most crucial. It's like one of the most crucial first steps. I mean, I'm sure, through a number of the different things that you do in your business, you figure that out.
Clarity.
And since we've been working to grow, some of our client base and our reach and things, there's something that we've really been trying to hammer home on and like really figure out is like, who is, like where we're raising for our fund, right? It's like, who is our ideal investor? Why are we, someone said this the other day, and I think this is, I had heard this before, but I hadn't heard it in a while. Um, but instead of going a mile wide and an inch deep, going an inch wide and a mile deep.
Mm-hmm.
And so just sort of bringing it back to knowing who you're looking for is so important before you start searching.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to just waste time and spin your wheels and ultimately end up with the wrong person because you didn't know what you wanted to look for.
Yep. Agreed. Having clarity, I think a lot of people, Elon Musk has a saying, something to the effect of like an engineer's, the worst thing that can happen is over perfect. It's just amazing. It's so complex. It's so perfect. It handles every use case and every edge case. You have over engineered something that shouldn't even exist.
Mm.
And engineers, think about Elon Musk's, capacity or like who he's hiring. That's perfect. And at the end of the day, I think that because I'm kind of engineered minded, ironically enough, we struggle with having ultimate clarity and specificity on exactly what we want. And I believe that a lot of real estate investors, a lot of entrepreneurs actually, I help my wife in her own company. Altogether, we run multiple businesses out of our house. And I see it with her ladies as well. It's like not having the clarity in your vision of exactly what I want and having a reason why. Why do I want somebody? I kind of explained it. Why do I want somebody who has bookkeeping experience for a market? That just doesn't make any sense. I explained, what about college educated? Frankly, I want them to be college educated because you've been in the system. You're not entrepreneurially minded. You will take leadership from an entrepreneur. And ultimately, I want this person to stay with me, not for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. I don't give a rip about that. I want 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years of commitment, of longevity here, not go pay your dues and then go off and build your own thing. I've had that churn too much. So again, stability is my theme for this year.
What do you think is one of the differentiating factors to get somebody to stay on your team for 5, 10, 15, 20 years in an environment where everyone is like serial jumping from position to position to scale their own career? It seems like a lot of, especially younger people, they're at a company for 2 to 4 years, and then they're looking for a jump, and they're looking for a jump, and then they're looking for a jump.
Yep. I don't even hire young people anymore, to be honest. I have one anomaly. His name is Mel. He's our transaction coordinator. He's been with us for 3 years, and he's younger than me. Everybody else on both teams, both REI Automated and Crown Properties, my real estate investing business, both of them are older, and sometimes significantly older, like 60s, 70s. Frankly, I vibe with people who are older way more than people who are younger, simply because their work ethic is tried and true. They have been through some shit in their life, just as I have. I do not have the work ethic of somebody who is my age, nor do I get along. I do not have the values of people who are my age. And I'm not completely like vehemently opposed to hiring somebody who's younger, in their 20s or in their 30s. There is a position for that. There is a place for that. There is a time for that. But in this season of my life and in the season of our business, it's not right now. That's not who I'm looking for. But to answer your question with a little bit more specificity, Miss K, for example, she's been on our team for more than 4 years. It's actually really, 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 really easy. I check in with her all the time. And I say, what more do you need? How is your life? Just think about this. What is the reason for somebody to leave? On the most basic conceptual level, here is my present reality, and here is my future vision. And there is too big of a gap, meaning if I stay here, I'm not going to reach this future vision. Okay? So one of two things needs to happen. You either need to go chase that future vision, or you need to bring that future vision in alignment with your current reality and have a path to get there. So constantly be actually caring about your employees and asking them, what more do you want? How can I make your life easier? How can I make your life better? You'd be actually really amazed. Miss K only asked me for a raise one time in 4 years. Most people are not going to ask for a raise. I'm being 100% genuine. I ask this all the time to all my team members in both companies. What more do you want? It's typically more responsibility, or it's a problem. Keith, this has been bugging me for the longest time. But like when I put in a seller lead sheet, sometimes it doesn't attach to the seller lead, and I have to like go in and manually okay, say no more. Like I'll talk to the dev team, they'll have that fixed by tomorrow. But that thing's been eating at them for 5 weeks. And it's like such a stupid little task that it's like this itch. It's like by 1,000 paper cuts, just fix those things and make their life wonderful. You can't make anybody's life easy. Life's not meant to be easy. That's my theory. Life's not meant to be easy, but if you can help them, just show that you care. Help them make their life more in alignment with where they want their future reality. They will never leave because they conceptually have no reason to. The only time they will leave is if they are taken out, meaning I've never had someone quit my company. I've always fired them or they've been taken out. Taken out meaning like my wife is divorcing me and my dad just got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I have to move. I have to focus on this. I cannot spend more time talking with sellers. Dude, absolutely. Take care of your family. That's what I mean by taken out. Fired is you're below the bar. We've created we call it a PIP, a performance improvement plan. You have failed to meet expectations. Unfortunately, I don't see this. Your goals do not align with my goals. There's too much dissonance. Like we're kind of going in the same direction. We're both going northward. But I'm kind of going this way and you're kind of going this way. And it's better to snip it now before, it explodes. And so we let people go pretty quickly.
What's that? Hire slowly, fire fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. Keith, this was awesome. Thank you so much for
man.
your story. I know you're inspiring all around. You've inspired me. I think a lot of people that are listening to this are going to have some wonderful takeaways. Everybody check it out. So why don't you plug the website one more time and then we'll do some closing remarks.
Great. Our website is www.reiautomated.io/demo.
Harrison, I think, is pulling it up on the
yeah, I'll
perfect. I can give you links and everything afterwards.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the in the show notes. This is your homepage, right?
Yes, that's the homepage.
And then /demo.
Yep, or just click on that big giant watch demo button there.
Oh, there we go.
And this will take you to 23 minutes. Look at that ugly mug right there.
Good, I was just going to say, look at that handsome stuff.
I'll check this out. I actually think I clicked the demo button the other day when we were chatting, and then it was going to email it to me, but I don't know. I may have gotten lost in my email, which things tend to do.
Okay.
As much as I try to not, but this is better.
For the record, Keith, he got all of the links. They were just on a slightly longer fuse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I refreshed something, and yeah, they all ended up coming like after our call.
That's good.
I did something, and then they all came through, and I got in.
Well, I'll plug.
Your team has called me a few times.
Really? That's funny.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
I will plug one more. I'll plug one more thing in, and that is if anybody's listening to this and you want a free course, I've kind of already explained. Like we have a course about deal structure, deal analysis, sales negotiation, raising private money, whatever it is. I've actually created something specifically just for this, just for like podcast, your audience. I'll give you the link afterwards, but essentially you can get one of those courses absolutely for free. You don't have to put in your freaking credit card information. You don't have to hop on a sales call with me. You can never talk to me in your whole entire life. This is absolutely for free, only for your audience. And I'll give you the link for that. You can essentially choose any one of the courses. There's 8 of them that are pretty good, like beginner courses, if you will, that you just say, ask yourself, which of these do I suck at most? Which one of these would be the biggest blessing to my business? Click on that one. It's absolutely for free. We email it over to you, and you're off and on your way.
Keith, you are a rock star. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks, man.
We're wishing you the best of success with everything. We're definitely gonna do a couple more of these. I want to stay in touch and
yes, I'd love to.
Of each other. Everybody, this is the WREI TV and Talk Radio podcast with Alex and Harrison of Wollaston Real Estate Investments. Peace and love. God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.